channel. Hey, you know what time it is, No Press fam? Welcome everyone to another episode of the Beatdown, the segment and channel where two worlds collide. I am your host, Class. This is my co-host, Biggs. Doing it big, baby, and keeping it 100 subs. And if you guys enjoy our content, you know what you can do? You can share, you can like, you can subscribe, or you can turn on your notifications to get the latest episodes. Yeah, and today I will be representing Marvel Comics, Frank Castle, aka The Punisher. Okay, everybody, brief origin story time. Let's get into it. So, Frank Castle was a during the time was a Marine, and he exceeded in the military on every level when it came to marksman, when it came to strategic, when it came to teaming up with people, when it came to everything you could think of in the military, the man had exceeded expectations. Eventually, he retires after Vietnam, and he works in special forces, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in upstate New York, so he could be closer to his wife and his son, Francis. One day, Frank and his family decide to go on a nice go to the park. I don't remember if it was a picnic or if he just went to go take a little stroll, but I believe it was a picnic. During that time, wrong place, wrong time situation yet again. So there was a mobster fight going out and bullets were flying and a lot of people went down. And the people who paid the ultimate price as well were also Frank's family. So he was the last one remaining and alive. And sadly, the justice system didn't do him any favors, so Frank decided to take it upon himself. And that is the brief origin story of the Punisher. Powers, abilities, and feats. Let's get into it, guys. All right, the superhero cocktail. You ready? Superhero strength, superhuman strength, superhuman durability, superhuman hearing, maximum human conditioning, strategic, high tolerance to pain, master in martial arts, weapons master, mastered marksman, expert pilot, interrogation master, extensive special operations training. That's pretty impressive, and master tactician. He has reflexes, able to shoot Spider-Man. He was able to dodge Captain America's shield. He even stunned Daredevil with a tranq gun. Okay? Defeated Deadpool, Daredevil, Wolverine, Luke Cage, Ghost Rider, and the Thing himself. Alright, so now the end game. So let's talk about two things. One, his extensive training is going to come in handy, making him more aware when it comes to any kind of attempts at booby traps, any kind of tricks that might come from the Joker's sleeve. Because let's face it, the Joker is all about improvisation, surprises. He's also very calculated when he wants to be. But Frank's training would help him be more aware if there were any traps. Let's say this was a planned moment or planned battle where Joker knew about the Punisher coming his way. I believe the Punisher would be able to find those booby traps because he is very capable of doing such things. He's very strategic. He's also planted traps like that before. If he were to get him in close range, I also think that, you know, his awareness would still be laser focused. So anything that Joker might throw, Frank would probably counter maneuver it. Now let's talk about another thing is Batman. Batman used to hold his punches, okay? So that way he wouldn't, you know, take out the Joker. But Frank Castle is not like that. The Punisher will take you out, and he'll take you out for good. So it's not impossible to say that Frank would probably hit him with one good blow and then put him out for completely in that way. Now, when it comes to range, let's get real. Joker doesn't have a chance against the Punisher. The Punisher could actually find, if he sees an opening, he sees a shot, he's good. He's an excellent marksman. That means he's gonna get his man, he's gonna get a target. If there's a window opportunity, he will put Joker out in the distance. So best bet for Joker's sake, keep it close, because far-wise, he's gonna get taken out in that way. Let's get real. Now let's talk about the pain tolerance level. Both can tolerate a tremendous amount of pain, but in all real essence, Punisher has dealt with more. Now why would I say that? Well, it's one thing taking a beating every now and then, which Frank does, which Joker does occasionally, but also taking bullet holes into your arm or into your body, along with a lot of stab wounds and stuff like that. That has also got to show how much pain tolerance he has. Joker might be able to take a beating, but I don't think he's able to take as much stabbings, as much bullet holes as Frank can. So tolerance pain-wise, I think Punisher is going to take Joker to another level of extreme pain when it comes to that way, because his tolerance is a lot more, which means he's going to be able to beat the crap out of him with his bare hands, or even take a few stabs or few weapon swings from the Joker. That way, what I mean by that is he could take a few swings from the Joker and still keep going, because he has a high tolerance of pain, more than the Joker does. And he's a lot tougher than the Joker. Okay, now if we had to compare the two, now granted, Joker has actually defeated the Justice League, but not in the traditional sense where he beat them with his bare hands. Okay, he beat them with a Venom, Joker Venom toxin that he used on them, and then he made them flip on Batman. That's how he beat them. But as far as fist-to-fist, hand-to-hand weapon skills-wise, nah, I don't think Joker had any of that in his advantages. But if you remember in another comic version for the Punisher, if you guys don't already know, the Punisher took out the Marvel Universe. So that means he took out, I believe, the X-Men, the Avengers, all those people. So if he was able to do that, I have to say that level bar is much higher than the Joker's level of bar. It's good. It's one thing to be able to cleverly trick somebody. It's another thing when you actually beat someone with your own fist, or with your own weapons, or with your own skills. Given the Punisher, given Frank's gifted skills with any weapon he possesses, given his high tolerance of pain, given his incredible military background, yeah, I gotta say that for Joker's sake, the crime will fit the punishment, because stepping into the ring with this man is a death sentence. And I'll be representing DC Comics, the Joker.
Now let's welcome our host, the clown prince of crime, the Joker! Greetings from Gotham City!
Brief origin story time. Now let me just get into a couple things real quick. The Joker has no origin story officially. Like, he has multiple origin stories. So I just want to give a shout out to Variant Comics, Arias Quiones, for explaining it the best. We fear what we do not understand, which means that having a villain that has a mysterious background or mysterious past puts much more of a bigger fear than someone we probably would know their background story. It put them less in a more scary attempt, or maybe we'd kind of humanize them in that way, I guess you could say. So I feel like a mystery past puts much more of an interesting story depth to the fear concept. But knowing their past may ruin the whole fear tactics concept of the comic character. So that's why I mentioned this. But let's get into who Joker is in one of his versions of the origin stories. So in one version, he was a struggling comedian. Doesn't really have an official name in this story, but he's a struggling comedian who is trying to make money for his wife and his currently pregnant child, or his wife and his child at the time, his wife who is pregnant with his child. Struggling to make money, he gets desperate and goes to the mafia, or goes to the mobsters, and the mobsters offer him a job to work. I believe it was either stealing something or something like that. As a job, he didn't want to do it, but he was desperate, so he decided to do it. So they gave him a costume to wear in order to avoid being caught. So they gave him this red helmet, metal-looking thing, and they gave him a red cape as well. And he wore a whole costume, so that way they didn't know who he was. During the heist, Batman shows up, and the comedian at the time was freaking out. He's like, "Oh crap, Batman's here!" And then I guess he accidentally fell into a chemical sewage of toxic chemicals. Sorry if I said that all weird like, but yeah, he falls into a water full of chemicals, and he takes the metal helmet off when he finally emerges out of that chemical, and that's when he becomes officially Joker, I guess. And that's the brief origin story of the Joker. Powers, abilities, and feats. Let's get into it. Okay. Pain resistance. Tainted blood. That's actually very interesting. Toxic immunity. Genius level intellect. And he actually has martial arts skills. That's surprising, isn't it? His weapons of choice, he's got a lot of them. He's got this electric buzzer. He's got a razor cards. So those razor cards that are sharp enough to cut through anything. Boxing glove arm. It extends and it's actually pretty tough. Chattering teeth. It can explode sometimes, or it can be a huge distraction. Acid flower. You already pretty much know what that is. Not like the drug, but the actual acid chemical. Joker Venom, and a crowbar itself. The Joker Venom is pretty interesting. So if you get caught with that thing and you breathe that thing in, you will literally laugh yourself to death. Not figuratively, you will literally laugh so much until you die. That's how crazy that is. Okay, he has defeated Carnage. Yes, they had a crossover, and he defeated Carnage in one comic series, which is really surprising. That's got to show you what kind of boss this guy is. Batgirl, Wonder Woman, Jason Todd's Robin, Alexander Luthor, that's Lex Luthor's son. That was actually surprisingly very easy too, how he did it. The Atom, Nightwing, and Teen Titans himself. Not a lot of people can say they have defeated the Teen Titans, but Joker can. All right, so the end game to this. Joker is gonna have to keep Punisher on his toes, keep him just literally moving all around constantly. So a lot of explosions, a lot of explosives will do the trick to do that. Maybe those teeth will be around so he can keep using them to blow up out of nowhere, just so that way the Punisher doesn't get a clear shot. Frank having an opportunity to have a focus shot is gonna really put Joker at a disadvantage. So if maybe Joker could create several diversions of explosions out of nowhere, it would keep Frank from being able to get a clear shot at him, which means he will have to take it to a close range. Close range wise might not be in the favor of Frank, even though Frank does have the military experience background. Joker does have a lot of tricks up his sleeve, like in a literal sense almost. He has those razor cards he can throw at him to kind of aggravate Punisher to getting closer. And then if he gets close enough, let's get real, he's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. But I think the one that would probably be the most interesting one would be the acid flower. And at any moment notice, if Joker just shoots that acid flower, and if Frank isn't ducking or does not see it coming, it is probably, no, I'm not gonna say probably, it's over. Acid is acid. It's gonna melt your face. Frank is tough, but acid being poured out of your face or getting in your skin and burning your body, it's not really exactly something you're going to be able to tolerate, no matter how much of a tough guy you are when it comes to pain. You're not going to be able to get the job done while there's acid burning your face, and I just don't see that coming. Now, in some sense, if Joker did have time to plan, I think he would probably have slight of an upward advantage against the Punisher in that way, because there's so many ways Joker could surprise Punisher, and he surprised Batman, and Batman is known as one of the best detectives alive. So if he was able to pretty much outsmart the Dark Knight himself, I gotta think he's able to outsmart the Punisher when it comes to certain traps and certain ideas. Another thing is, close range wise, this is why it'd be Joker's favor, because he has a high tolerance of pain, which means he could take a beating for as long as he needs to until he sees an opening. Now, of course, I said already he has all those Gag Weapons that he has. You forget he has that electric buzzard. He could probably stun Frank for a moment and then get a clear shot in that way. He could use the Joker Venom to have Punisher have to breathe it, and then have to, he'll die laughing, because I don't think he has a counter maneuver to that. Or even if Frank holds his breath, holding your breath against someone who's throwing down with you with the weapons of gags, with the card razors or that extended arm thing, it's going to be a little hard to do, and it's hard not to breathe in the toxin fumes. So pain tolerance wise, and as far as gag weapons wise, Joker does have a lot of things. He has the buzzard, he has the Venom, he has those dentures, he has a lot of things. He has the acid flower, so there's a lot of ways where there's an opening for Joker to take that clear shot when he sees it. And as a Hail Mary, let's say, Joker's blood is tainted. And what we mean by tainted is that if anything sucks it, or anything gets caught the blood gets into anyone's system, or it streams into their blood, they can go crazy, they can lose their mind. It happened in the Batman Who Laughs Last, or something like that, some kind of comic series where Batman and Joker throw down, and Batman finally gets the job done, but then he gets Joker's blood, and then he becomes corrupted too. So I do believe that Joker could spill some blood into an open wound or into Punisher's mouth, and then trip him in that way, or get him sick in that way, or poison him in that kind of way if he needs to. So if he does that, if he manages to get any of his blood inside of Frank, it's going to screw Frank over completely. And I do believe that the Joker will have the last laugh. And as always, No Press fam, it's not up to me, It's not up to Big, it's up to you guys. So if you guys liked my argument, you know what you could do? You can hashtag the Punisher. And if you guys liked my argument, you know what you could do? You can hashtag the Joker. And as always, No Press fam, we appreciate you guys. Catch you guys later. Peace.